Okay, these are all ready. I just moved this rod up. Again, I have another, like to use metal rods. That's my preference. It just seems to tie better, but again, we all have what works for us. I'm going to take the one in the center. I'm going to take it in half. You can see it's about 1.5 inches I've taken with the threads here. I'm going to do the first half of a square knot. Now we have several different ways. Some people lace on, some people do a double on this. There's all different ways of doing it. Sometimes you find the way that works for you and you don't change. Sometimes you find new ways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the one in the middle. And even though these might have been grouped one way, I'm going to kind of separate them. And then I'm going to do the one right beside it. And I want to make sure that the threads are pretty well even there. Again, I still have not taken the leaf sticks out. I'm going to do that momentarily, but I want to do a check before I do that. Let's try that one again. Okay, we bring that around. Again, I'm just doing the first part of the square knot. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So take that one out. And it's good to keep those threads lined up the best you can. Pull out any loose threads in there. And right now I'm not doing it really super tight. Just getting it attached so I can move on to tightening it as the next stage. And as you can see, what I'm doing, like some of these got all tangled up here, I'm doing one on each side just to get started on attaching it to the front rod. And when you have a lot of thin yarn, sometimes they get tangled up like you see it's happening right now. Let's do this side. And then I'll continue tying the rest of those on. All right, onto the back loom. What I've done is I have taken the raddle off the back. And then I'm going to go to the front to continue tying on to that front rod. Now I'm going to tie these a little tighter. I'm going to start with the middle ones. I go side by side. I have the one in the middle, right, left, left, right. Doesn't matter, that one. And then I'm going to do this one, back over here, over here, tighten this one, the one on the end, and the one here. Now before I go and do the second knot, I'm going to make sure that there are no cross threads in the reed perhaps. So if I kind of move it back and forth, can eye it, make sure. You might want to look on the sides. But again, I'm just making sure that there's, first of all, no cross threads going on. And then sometimes what I do, I kind of know the pattern. I might pick up the front shaft, pick up the back shaft, and then the next ones, see if I see anything. If you've been threading looms, different patterns, sometimes if you go across like that, you can see if there was a double thread, if there was a mistake somewhere along the line. It's a good idea if you can check all of these things before you do your second knot. The other thing you can do, if I wanted to, I could leave the leaf sticks in. I usually take them out now. Some people leave them in so they can fix any errors. They can see where the thread was maybe mixed up or whatever. I like to take it out to do my final tie-up, and that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go back and take the leaf sticks out, and then I'm going to do my final pull here. As you can see right now, I can see there's a couple threads here I need to work on, and yeah, just tightening all of those things up. Okay, now that I took the leaf sticks out, I'm going to do another go through and tighten them, because there we go, both sides. Still, this is only the single one. You can see I'm kind of pulling up, and pretty hard too. This side, the other end, this end, and then this end. You can see this is part of the waist. That's part of what you calculate in. Now, if I'm going to make fringe, this would not be waist. I'd be able to use this as the fringe. All right, so now I'm going to go the other direction. I'm making a square knot the other way, or you know, square knot the first half, the second half now. I'm going to do another little tight. It's not quite as tight as the first one, and I'm going back and forth. If this was a very, very complicated threading pattern, I probably wouldn't be tightening yet. I'd probably be fiddling around, making sure I didn't have any threading errors, because when you tighten these up sometimes, it's pretty hard to get them out, because you do want that. Like I said, some people use the lace method. That's fine. I'm just showing you what I do. We all have our preferences. We all kind of what works, and this works for me. Okay. Now, what I'll probably do also is I'll probably trim these a little bit, just so they're not, so I don't have as much bulk. Now, the next thing is the fun part, weaving. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's all fun.